Goodness alone will not save you in this world. In fact, it might be your greatest weakness. The myth that kindness will always be rewarded is a dangerous one. How many times have you been told that doing the right thing, being the good person, would eventually lead to success? How often have you found yourself doing the right thing, only to be overlooked, taken advantage of, or ignored? We've been raised to believe that virtue will protect us, that honesty and integrity will eventually be the keys to success. But in reality, the world doesn't reward the good. It rewards those who know how to navigate it, those who can wield strategy and power without being blinded by morality. The truth is far more uncomfortable than we'd like to admit. Goodness without awareness is often a trap, and it leaves you vulnerable. Here's where the uncomfortable truth comes in. The lessons of Machiavelli, one of the most controversial thinkers of all time, challenge this comforting fantasy. His wisdom tells us that you must understand the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. In this video, we'll dive deep into Machiavelli's secrets of power, showing you how to balance goodness with strategy, how to be virtuous but not naive, and how to understand perception as a tool in shaping your reality. It's time to face the truth. Kindness isn't enough. It's time to learn how to play the game and win. We've all heard it. Just be good, and the world will reward you. From childhood, we're taught that kindness, honesty, and integrity will always lead to success. Society tells us that virtue is a shield, something that will protect us in the face of adversity, and ultimately bring us the respect and rewards we deserve. But if you've ever been the person who did everything right, played by the rules, and still found yourself ignored, taken advantage of, or worse, exploited, then you've seen the dark side of this belief. How many times have you found yourself standing up for what's right, only to feel like no one is listening? How many times have you offered help, been transparent, or stood firm in your values, only to have others walk all over you, leaving you with nothing but disappointment? This is where Machiavelli steps in. In The Prince, he made it clear that virtue alone without cunning is a weakness. The world doesn't reward goodness in and of itself. It rewards those who know when to show virtue and when to hide it, when to play the role of the benevolent leader, and when to make the hard, strategic decisions that no one else is brave enough to make. Machiavelli understood that honesty, while virtuous, is no match for those who are strategic, those who recognize the complex, often harsh realities of human nature. He didn't advocate for cruelty. He advocated for pragmatism, the ability to understand that kindness must be balanced with wisdom and strategy to navigate the world effectively. Now ask yourself, how many times have you fallen into the trap of being too good, thinking that people would appreciate your integrity or respect your honesty, only to realize they didn't? Reflect on those moments when you've been kind, open, and virtuous, only to be let down. What if you had approached the situation with strategy rather than just goodness? What could have been different? It's time to question this illusion of goodness and understand the importance of blending virtue with intelligence, awareness, and strategic thinking. Machiavelli didn't mince words when it came to human nature. He saw it for what it is: selfish, fickle, and, when necessary, cruel. In The Prince, he argued that most people will act in their own self-interest, often at the expense of others. They will smile in your face and stab you in the back the moment it benefits them. Machiavelli understood that success isn't handed to those who merely follow the rules. It's claimed by those who know how to move in the shadows, adapt to the changing tides, and manipulate situations to their advantage. But this doesn't mean you have to become a villain. The key is strategic kindness, knowing when to show compassion, when to stand your ground, and when to protect yourself. Kindness is a strength, but only when it's backed by awareness and self-protection. True power isn't in mindless generosity. It's in knowing when to extend a hand and when to pull it back. It's about balancing your morals with the tactical awareness that the world doesn't always operate on fairness. Emotional intelligence is the ability to read the room, understand the underlying motives of others, and respond accordingly. When you combine kindness with strategy, you make yourself respected instead of vulnerable. Now take a moment to reflect. How many times have you been too kind or too good? Think of those moments when you gave too much, trusted too easily, or let your kindness be taken advantage of. How many times did you get nothing in return, or worse, find yourself taken for granted? Here's the challenge. How can you balance your inherent kindness with the strategic intelligence needed to protect your peace and achieve success? When can your goodness be a tool of strength, and when should you hold back? Machiavelli didn't believe in abandoning virtue, but he did believe in using it wisely. And so should you. The world rewards those who are both virtuous and shrewd, and learning how to balance the two will allow you to navigate life with confidence and authority. How people perceive you shapes how they treat you. Whether we like it or not, perception is everything. Think about it. How you present yourself, the way you carry yourself, the tone you set, the image you project, determines the level of respect or disregard others show you. In a world that often operates on the surface, how you are seen matters just as much as who you truly are. If you appear weak, people will treat you as such. If you project strength, they will treat you with respect, even if you don't wield actual power. Machiavelli understood this fundamental truth. He famously said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." What he meant is simple. If you can't command both respect and affection, choose fear, not out of cruelty, but because fear inspires control. People will listen to those who project power, those who know when to speak and when to hold back. They won't risk disrespecting you if they perceive you as someone who has the strength to push back when needed. Now, reflect on your own life. How have you been perceived by others? Are you seen as strong or weak? Do people treat you with respect, or do they take advantage of you? The perception others have of you directly shapes your experiences. If you've been treated like a doormat, it may be because you've unintentionally projected weakness or passivity. If you've been overlooked, it may be because you didn't assert yourself in the way that commanded attention. The truth is, many of us fear rejection or conflict, so we shrink ourselves, hoping to fit in and be liked. But what if I told you that true power comes from stopping that fear, from choosing to project strength when necessary, not because you want to intimidate, but because you want to command respect and protect your energy? It's time to stop shrinking. Start projecting strength. Stop fearing rejection and conflict, and choose to show up with the confidence and presence that earns respect, not just approval. How you are seen is not just a reflection of who you are, but of how you choose to show up in the world. Start projecting that strength today. In this world, how you're perceived is often more important than who you truly are. This might be uncomfortable, but it's the harsh reality of modern society. Whether in personal relationships, at work, or in social situations, the way you control your image has a massive impact on how much respect, influence, and power you command. People don't just follow you because of your abilities. They follow you because of the way they see you. And if you're not actively shaping that perception, then you're letting others define you. Machiavelli understood this like few others. He wrote extensively on the importance of shaping public perception. For him, the key to success wasn't just about what you were, but about what others believed you to be. In The Prince, he emphasized that rulers must be mindful of how they project themselves. It's not about being authentic all the time, but about knowing when to project authority and when to manipulate the narrative. If you appear weak, people will treat you as weak. If you appear strong, they will treat you with respect, regardless of your actual strength. To navigate this, Machiavelli advised that one must learn to control their image, how others see them, and use that to their advantage. This doesn't mean being deceitful, it means being strategic with what you show and how you present yourself to the world. Here's a practical tip for you. Start paying attention to how others perceive you in different situations. Whether you're in a meeting at work, out with friends, or even talking to a stranger, think about the image you're projecting. Are you speaking with confidence? Are you standing tall or shrinking back? Are you engaging or disengaged? Your body language, tone, and words all send a message. You can manage your image by actively choosing how to present yourself, by being intentional with your appearance, behavior, and words. Now I challenge you to reflect. How much control do you have over your image? Are you actively shaping it, or are you letting others define who you are? If you're not managing your image, you're leaving that power in the hands of others. The choice is yours. Will you step into your power and project the image you want, or continue letting the world dictate how you're seen? Silence is not just the absence of words. It's a strategic tool, a weapon even. The power of silence lies in knowing when to speak and, more importantly, when to remain quiet. In a world that's always speaking, always trying to be heard, silence holds a unique power. It gives you the time to think, observe, and most crucially, to control the narrative. By withholding your thoughts and intentions, you create mystery, and mystery creates respect. When you know when to stay silent, you hold the upper hand. Your words become more valuable because they are no longer taken for granted. Machiavelli understood this well. He didn't just advocate for deceptive silence. He believed in controlling the flow of information, knowing when to speak and when to remain calm and reserved. In The Prince, he suggested that a ruler must not reveal their true intentions to others. To be successful, one must withhold key information and allow others to wonder about their next move. This is about understanding power dynamics. The more you reveal, the more vulnerable you become. When you say too much, you give away control, and once you give that away, you risk losing your position of strength. Think about the times you've revealed too much, whether in a conversation with a colleague, a disagreement with a friend, or even in a negotiation. How often have your words been used against you? How many times has your honesty or your need to explain made you appear weaker than you actually are? We've all been there, over-explaining, trying to justify our actions, only to find that doing so opens doors for others to question, manipulate, or use us. So here's a challenge. Start practicing silence. Withhold unnecessary information and be strategic with your words. You don't need to explain every action or opinion you have. Next time you're in a conversation, take a moment to pause. Hold back from offering every detail. Watch how your words carry more weight, how your silence commands attention, and how much more power you have by simply not revealing everything. This small shift can radically change the way others perceive you. When you become predictable, you become vulnerable. Your every move, every reaction, becomes anticipated, and once someone can predict you, they can manipulate you. They know how you will respond, how you'll act, and where your limits lie. This predictability doesn't just make you easy to control, it strips you of your power. The world operates in patterns, but the most powerful people break the pattern. They keep others on their toes, uncertain of their next move, which is why they are treated with respect and caution. Unpredictability, on the other hand, is a weapon. It commands respect because it keeps people guessing. People can't manipulate what they can't anticipate. When you're unpredictable, others are unsure of how you'll act, and that uncertainty breeds power. You become a force to be reckoned with, because people understand that they cannot control you, that you are not easily read, and you are not a pawn in anyone's game. Machiavelli understood this principle like few others. In The Prince, he advised rulers to maintain a level of mystery. Unpredictability isn't about being erratic or unreliable, it's about maintaining control over your actions and decisions. By not being predictable, you protect your power. You keep your opponents and allies alike guessing, never letting them get too comfortable with your movements. He believed that to stay in power, a leader must make sure their actions are unpredictable, leaving others to wonder what their next move will be, all while maintaining authority over their own choices. Now think about it. How predictable are you? When you walk into a room, are people able to guess your next move? In your conversations, do you always say the same thing or react in the same way? How often do you fall into habitual responses and patterns? Here's your challenge. Start embracing unpredictability. Break your usual habits. In your interactions, challenge your routine responses. Don't always give the same reaction. Don't always behave the way others expect. Embrace the discomfort of being unpredictable, because it's that unpredictability that will make people respect you, fear you, and take you seriously. Begin to control the narrative and watch how the dynamic shifts in your favor. In a world where everyone is rushing for instant results, the true power lies in patience. It's easy to get swept up in the impulse to act immediately, to make quick decisions and chase after fast rewards. But in the long run, those who wait, those who allow the right moment to arrive, often achieve far greater success. Patience isn't about passivity. It's about waiting for the right moment to make your move, to strike with precision and power rather than rushing in without foresight. Impatience leads to mistakes, missed opportunities, and burned bridges. But strategic patience ensures that your actions are always calculated, impactful, and purposeful. Machiavelli understood this better than most. He advised leaders to be patient in their pursuit of power, to avoid rash decisions that could jeopardize their long-term success. In The Prince, he highlighted that true strength doesn't come from rushing to action, but from knowing when to act and, crucially, when to wait. He described the importance of observing situations, allowing things to develop naturally, and then stepping in at the perfect moment when your influence is at its peak. Patience, in Machiavelli's view, is the ultimate form of power. It allows you to control the situation from behind the scenes, waiting until your moment arrives, then acting with precision and force. Now think about your own life. How often do you rush into decisions, acting on impulse or emotion, only to realize later that you could have handled things better if you had waited? How often do you feel the need to act immediately, only to make mistakes because you didn't take the time to observe and plan? The call to action is clear. Practice strategic patience. In moments of decision, take a step back. Don't rush. Wait for the perfect moment to act. Trust that the best outcomes come to those who understand that timing is everything. The next time you feel the urge to rush in, remember, true power lies in waiting for the right moment to make your move. When you learn to do this, you will become someone who is both feared and respected, not because of your speed, but because of your ability to move with purpose. Take a moment to reflect on what we've explored. Machiavelli's wisdom has given us a hard but necessary truth. Being good, kind, and virtuous on their own won't guarantee you success. The world isn't built on ideals alone. It's shaped by those who understand the dynamics of power, perception, and strategy. Think about how you've approached your life so far. How many times have you relied purely on kindness, only to be ignored or taken advantage of? How many times have you acted impulsively, and how did that work out for you? Now ask yourself, are you ready to stop living in the illusion that kindness alone will shape your destiny? Are you prepared to embrace the power of intelligence, strategy, and the ability to wield them effectively? The choice is yours. Will you continue to be governed by outdated beliefs about goodness and fairness? Or will you step into the power that comes from understanding how the world truly works? As a final challenge, I want you to think about how you can start applying Machiavellian principles in your own life. What would it look like if you started to move with purpose instead of being led by impulses? If you projected strength and mystery, knowing when to act and when to wait? Power doesn't come from being seen as good. It comes from being seen as someone who is in control. Comment below with a phrase like, "Power is in the silence." as a reminder to yourself and others that real strength comes from knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet. If you found these ideas thought-provoking and want more content on self-empowerment, authenticity, and how to master the game of life, make sure to subscribe. The game isn't over, it's just beginning. Now go out and play it on your terms.